Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, we've got the Queen of Swords. This is you trying to rise above an emotional state, right? To put it into some context, this is something that I think is very important for Cancer people to do. I'm a solar Cancer myself. We can't always see the reason behind things or the purpose of something when we're immersed in it, you know? So if there's an emotional situation going on for you right now, this is the idea that we have to sort of take a step back and look at it. We have to try to be objective, silly as that sounds. Because, you know, when you're in a feeling, right, you're identified with it, you're holding on to it, it's come over you. It's really hard to step back and see what things actually look like. And we've got to try, okay? I think sometimes even this is about the positive emotions too. Not just the unpleasant ones. The good things, too. We've got to sometimes step back and look at it and be like, wow, is that real? You know? That we need that kind of almost third-party perspective, that sort of bird's-eye view of things, right? To make sure that it's kind of like we're pinching ourselves a bit. To make sure that, yeah, this is really happening. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels to be, you know? And I think this is the way that Cancer people really do trust their feelings. You know, it's not that we're just sort of led, and some of us are, I guess, just led blindly by our feelings. No, we are able to take a step back and say, okay, I feel a certain way. What is this really? You know? And then we're able to sort of confirm, you know, with our intellect a little bit. I found Cancer people to be very intellectual. I know Cancer's a water sign. It's all about the emotions, but the intellect is usually strong with Cancer people, at least in my experience, yeah. Well, let's put this card into some context. Let's see what else is going on or what the situation is. There is a 7 of Swords, but an Eon card. 10 of Swords, so 7 of Cups, 10 of Swords, and then one of your superpower cards. This is the Knight of Cups. That is one of the representatives of your kind of cardinal water energy, right? It's sort of you following your heart in a way, yeah? Leading to a 7 of Wands. Okay. Over here we have some fixed air energy with a Prince of Swords, a 2 of Cups, a Princess of Cups, and a 9 of Wands. Very nice. Things might be getting a little bit more difficult before they get better, but oh, they're going to get a lot better, right? I think this is an opportunity for you to overcome something that's been sort of holding you down, holding you back. We're looking at a situation. This is the situation for which you need this objective viewpoint. And this is a 7 of Cups. Okay, sort of looks like a swamp. And maybe we're trying to get a bird's eye view to be like, is this really a swamp? Right? We're trying to see something for what it is. Now, this could be pleasant or unpleasant, right? It could be something that looks like a swamp, but really is a paradise. Or the other way around. Yeah. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down here and put our boba tea right down there on top of that. Boba tea is a reference to what I called this channel at the very beginning. All right, I don't know if you remember 2.5 something years ago when I started the channel, it wasn't called Dove and Serpent Tarot. It was called something else. That is a hint. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know that you can even still find those videos anywhere, but it was called something else anyway. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. We can do it together as a group exercise. All right. Let's look around the room. Major arcana, do we have any? Yes, please. We've got this. It's a leveling up. Excuse me. This is a transcendence. This is a fiery doorway. Fire, right? A fiery doorway, a challenging situation that is going to lift the scales from our eyes, right? Or pull the wool, off of our eyes, or whatever the phrase is. It's going to allow us to get through this emotion, whatever this is, pleasant or unpleasant, to get to the strength that's underneath it, to get to whatever the future is here. Okay, this is something I think that it's almost as if with the major arcana being this is, again, rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire, the doorway of fire. It's as if you could see on the other side what it is. You're kind of like, you're squinting, you're cleaning your glass, you're rubbing your eyes. Is that really on the other side? Because maybe it's a feeling in a way. That we know we're at this big threshold, this big doorway, this big change happening in life. Is it a change for the better or for the worse? Maybe right now you don't know, right? Maybe this is one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Here you are right at the door and you're just like, I don't know if I want it. I can't tell what this is. I feel a certain way toward it. Now, I'm not going to tell you whether you feel good or bad about it. Because some of you may be like, this is going to be great, but I don't know. Some of you are going to think, this is going to be awful, but I don't know. Kind of the same thing in the end, right? Two sides of the same coin. So we're looking through this doorway and we're seeing that 7 of Cups. And we're just thinking, I got to get a better look at it. I got to put this into perspective. I got to take this journey up a few miles and look down on everything and get this perspective so I can see what this really is. Because we have a certain feeling reaction about it. But we've got to get some clarity because it's going to require you making some big changes in your life. We've got that 10 of Swords at the end. So this is our major arcana, and this is what it's all about, this doorway. The once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, big-time change. You're right at the threshold, right on the precipice of something, okay? We've got fire. We've got water. We've got air, and air, right? So it's primarily about your heart and your mind working together to figure something out, to know if you should challenge yourself and move in this particular direction, this direction of fire, right? It's simple. You go through this doorway, the odds are going to be against you, but you know you're strong enough to make it happen, to make it work, to conquer it, to do it, you know it's going to be all right. It's going to be challenging, yes, but you can definitely do it. The heart-mind idea here is, do I want to do it, right? Do I care enough? Do I want to do that? Because sure, you're capable of it. But just because you're capable of something doesn't mean you need to go out and do it, even if the opportunity is there, right? What we don't see is any earth cards, and I think that's because you haven't decided anything yet. No action has been taken. You haven't committed to anything. You haven't gone through the doorway yet. But you kind of want to, you kind of don't. I think the heart and the mind are kind of having a conversation right now. We're looking for that unity. Because if we want this fire energy to reach the realm of manifestation, the whole thing, fire and earth, that spiritual electrical circuit of creation, if we want this fire to result in some earth cards somewhere, maybe the mystery card, It has to have a conductor. That electricity needs something to conduct it to the earth. The conductor is the human heart and mind. All the other cards, right? And so all these other cards need to be sorted out so that we can make a decision and that we can conduct this spiritual will to the realm of manifestation, and we can accomplish our goals. But right now we're looking through this doorway. Let's say it's got a little glass window or something in it. You're looking through and you're thinking, I can't really decide how I feel about that. You know, the Seven of Cups is kind of like, maybe it looks pretty, but maybe it's toxic, right? Maybe it looks disgusting, but it's actually really, really delicious. You know, or what is it? The durian fruit, right? Smells terrible, but tastes delicious. Or it could be the opposite. It could be something that looks wonderful, but it'll kill you, right? You gotta be careful. And so you have this kind of a feeling reaction, and I think it's very specific for you. I think this is either something you look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's perfect, right? Or the other way around, you look at it and you say, no, I don't want that. Okay, but we need to authenticate this emotional message using this air energy that's here. It's about heart and mind working together so that we can move forward through this doorway with confidence and strength and commitment, without any sort of doubts, without any part of us, heart and mind, that are saying, no, I don't want to go, you know? Because the Ten of Swords. Because this is going to be, by definition, the ending of a chapter. Okay, going through this fiery doorway of the Eon card, it's a door, and you shut the door, it locks behind you. Okay, this is the closing of an old chapter and the beginning of a new adventure. Well, we have to make sure that, for one thing, we're done with this last thing. We're done with the last chapter. Have you know, sometimes I read a book, and I'll read a chapter, and it's like, before I go on to the next chapter, let me reread that chapter again. Let me just skim through it, make sure I got all the key points in the story, you know. Because sometimes my eyes kind of glaze over and I'm reading, but I'm not really comprehending, right? So then at the end of the chapter, I realize I got to go do it again, but I could do it quickly, but I'm just going to pay attention to the key points, you know. Right now I'm reading The Egyptian by Mika Waltari. Wonderful book. Love that story. I read it 20 years ago. I'm reading it again now, and it's quite nice. That's a very fast-moving book. I started it a couple days ago. I'm halfway through already. But anyway, we have to make sure that we've picked the bones clean of this past experience. See, this Ten of Swords, it doesn't mean it was a bad thing or a good thing. It was a thing. It was a chapter, whatever. And we have to make sure that we got everything we could from this, that there's nothing more left for us to do here. We've learned the lessons, we've taken the joy, we've had the full experience of it, we've picked the bones clean, we haven't wasted any part of it. Right? Then we're kind of like thinking about it, considering it, yeah, you know, in that sense, I'm ready to move on from this. I don't need to keep rereading the same chapter of the book and be stuck in that's just one small section of the story. So we're ready to sort of move on from that. The Knight of Cups here is the card of giving and receiving love and affection. This is the card of, in your case, feeling to yourself, if this is a situation, going through this doorway, what's on the other side here, is something that you can, let's say, give your heart to. If something that you can see yourself having that sort of feeling connection with. If this is something that you think will be satisfying to you. And this is all us getting that higher perspective and seeing, is this something that you're going to or lose interest in a week? Or is this something that you think you can really devote yourself to? This is your superpower card, and this is your ability to commit to things with your whole entire heart, right? And so we have to ask this question, is this an expression of who I am? Is this meant for me? Is this something that, yes, this is part of who I am, and I can devote myself to this, at least long enough to reap the rewards from it, let's say. Okay. Is this something that will satisfy me? And of course, we go around the circle again. We come to the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is struggle. It's fight. It's you not giving up the fight. This is the card where you ask yourself, is this something that even if the odds are against me, even if every fiber of my body wants to quit, can I muster up the energy to keep going? Do I care enough about this to persevere? This card's about perseverance. Even when the odds are tremendously great and we feel like we're about to crumble under the weight. I didn't mean to rhyme there. Sometimes we feel as if we're not up to the task. See, that's just a little wooden stick up against those very great, strong-looking wands, right? And sometimes it just feels like there's no way, I'm not capable of this, right? And that's kind of this card. We're asking, is this something that I'm capable of doing? Is this something that even when I want to quit, can I find the energy to keep going and to make it happen, and to push through the soreness, let's say, right? Or am I going to quit at the first hint of discomfort? Yeah. This speaks to all those other things. We're not going to be able to have this kind of strength and perseverance if we're still tied to something that happened in the past, this previous chapter. I'm not going to understand the next chapter. I'm not going to have the capacity to read the next chapter of the book if part of my mind is still trying to sort of understand what happened in the last chapter. So I'm reading the new chapter, but I'm like, okay, so now why did he do that thing with that person, and what was the significance of the little scarab and all this stuff? So it's, we have to stay focused in the present if we're going to have the energy to really do this the right way. Okay. Let's talk about the path of the serpent now, because I think this is where the good stuff really happens. I'd like to also ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free, and it supports the channel, and I really do appreciate that. So let's take a look at the general energy. I see right here with the fixed air energy that it's almost like, maybe it's very much like, the Queen of Swords has come down out of the clouds, where it has risen above this Seven of Cups to really look at things the way they are. Now it has come down and I think has made a decision. Because this is now fixed air energy. This is not thought that is looking at both sides of anything. This is kind of like firm in its convictions. It knows, it has received the answer from up here. Now ready to roll, right? Up here, everything is put into perspective. You can see the past, present, and the future. You can see what's going to be required of you. You know who you are, and you know that this either is or is not right for you. And down here, we make that decision. Now the decision is made, and there's no force in the universe now that can push you aside, that can get you to go back on this decision, right? This is firm. This is a firm decision, okay? And the Two of Cups being next, well, this is realizing the truth of this thing. When we're thinking of the Seven of Cups, we're like, I can't tell if this is a swamp or a paradise, right? Well, now we're looking at it and we think, yeah, it's a paradise. It is an oasis. It is clear blue skies. It is the water that's just like glass. Just refreshing, pure, clean, wonderful water. Right? And whether this is a confirmation of what you felt earlier, that maybe you looked at this thing and you said, oh, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, you're right. It is. Okay? Or if you looked at it and you said, that's disgusting, I don't want to go anywhere near that. Well, no, you're wrong. This is something beautiful. Okay? This is true love. This is real. And maybe we're talking a romance here. Maybe we're talking business stuff or family stuff or creative, artistic, spiritual stuff, right? This is good. This is real love. Okay? Real love. Meant for you. Worth your devotion, worth your commitment, worth your time, worth your energy, worth your suffering. 7 of Wands, worth your perseverance. And with the Princess of Cups here, and this is the obstacle. This is like this is the card of an imagination. This is the card of really trying to see how much your life can change from this opportunity. This is you getting really creative with the next chapter of the story. Right? It is, in some ways, it's you realizing or struggling to realize that this love can be anything that you want it to be. You're sort of realizing that you are the creative source of all of this. Yeah. It's almost like if you can dream it, that's what this can be. So in some ways, we have to really then use our imagination and figure out, what is this going to look like? See, the 2 of Cups, this is love, right? But how does this evolve? What does this become? What kind of life does it become? How does it manifest? What does the earth energy of it actually look like? See, this is water and earth. There's earth in here. So it's saying like, whatever I can imagine is what the reality can be. So this is a situation that you can kind of choose your own adventure here. You can write this chapter, you can write the ending here however you want, But this card has to unfold 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right, of Cups. And when we get to the 10, that's the earth element. That's the kingdom. That is the manifested reality of what is, in some ways, not potential here, but what is as yet it's undifferentiated. It's not fully realized yet. Right? And so that's what we're doing here is getting the realization that this is the manifestation of your dream. You got to know what you're dreaming about. Okay, and then comes that real commitment. Then comes the real effort, I'd say, because the 9 of Wands, the sun and the moon conjoin together, influencing each other, right? It's kind of like your conscious fiery will is being fed by this love, by this creative water, the imagination underneath. And this is now confidence without a doubt. This is a lot different than the 7, right? It still shows one out in front doing battle against all these others. This is one out in front doing battle against all these others. But this is one that's unbreakable. These are just arrows here. These are made out of wood. This is solid steel, right? Or whatever. Very different than this weak piece of wood that's going to get hammered, by the stronger forces here. Now this is no match for you. There is no question. There is no doubt. This is the feeling that you can overcome, that you can conquer anything. And in this sense, yeah, love really does conquer all, right? And so inspired by this love and by this creativity and by the acknowledgement of your own dreams and wishes and hopes and aspirations of how this is going to evolve, right? If this is a romantic relationship, this can look any way you want it to look. You sort of have to be the one with the confidence to kind of say, look, there is this love here, and this is what I envision it to be. I'm hoping for some earth energy over here in that mystery card. But before we do that, let's do a divine doorway card. These cards are always useful when we run into a doorway like the Aeon card, especially a fiery doorway where a lot is being asked of you. It's a really big decision, Intuition, simple, complex, words of pain or words that heal. You come to know truth by the way that it feels. In some ways, it's saying, trust your emotion. And I think, when we think about that, maybe your intuition or the feeling tone of it makes you want to go do it. But there's also this idea that what if I'm wrong? I have to authenticate, right? So I like the appearance of the Seven of Cups because to me it really can be either side of things. It can be, like I said, something that looks beautiful but is unhealthy and toxic, or something that appears disgusting but it's actually the best thing ever. And sort of getting through those surface level feelings of the appearance of something to really find out what the intuition, what your heart, what your higher wisdom and discernment is telling you. That's the key. That's the intuition. Not just reacting to that initial surface perception of something. The Seven of Cups, for good or ill, right? So we got that 9. And this is good. This is strength. This is, you're going to endure until the end. Not that you can, not that if things get bad, I can muster up some more energy. No, this is saying things are going to get tough, but they're no match for you. When you've got this kind of love energy fueling you, nothing will stop you. Nothing is impossible, right? This is one tick away from manifestation, okay? Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see. Is it going to be earth energy? Is it going to be the Chariot? Is it going to be the Empress? These are some thoughts. I'd like to see the earth energy, I would say. Would probably be the best thing. Or maybe a 9 or a 10 of cups would be good too. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Magician. Well, the Magician is not the earth energy, but the Magician is you becoming the perfect conductor of the spiritual electrical circuit of creation. Remember that whole thing? And conductor as in how like water is a conductor of electricity, or like metal or like silver is a conductor of electricity. Not like an orchestra conductor, although kind of that too. Not like a train conductor, but kind of like that too. But this is your heart and mind now harmonized, on the same page, perfectly pure and clear, so that this fiery energy can travel through you as a pure conduit, as a pure conductor of the electricity, and it can manifest. It's saying that you're the conductor of reality, right? You are the conductor of the spiritual light as it manifests on earth. You are the architect of your own reality. Whatever you can dream, you can make a reality. Whatever this love is, whatever you are in love with and is in love with you, can evolve and become any kind of life that you want, any kind of reality. Who you are, where you are, what you're doing. Yeah. And so it really is this kind of infinite potential. Whatever you and this other thing kind of work out between the two of you, that's what it's going to become. And it can look, the details, it's up to you. Sky's the limit. So the Magician is the absolute perfect card here. It's not showing us the details. It's showing us that you're going to create the details however you will, because you're the Magician. I like it very, very much. We are going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, there is a link above or below. But if you don't want to watch the readings here, you can head over to the website, doveandserpenttarot.com. You can see all the extended readings over there. New readings for Cancer come out on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And when you're here, you're family.